Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
The art of magic is mystery, majesty, pageantry, and craft. It's also about history, marketing, networking, and more. All of these topics and others are discussed on Magic Talk with your hosts, renowned magician James Lantine and owner of the White Rabbit Magic Shop, Joshua Lantine. Now on Rough Edge FM.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another exciting episode of Magic Talk. Your what?
Sorry, you scared me. I was dealing with my cards that are Halloween themed, and
I
was getting in the mood.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why Halloween themed? I mean,
I don't know. They came out during like Christmas time, and then at least Murphy's got them, and then we got them, and it was well after Halloween.
So is it like Halloween year round kind of thing, or?
Hey, I know there's a lot of people out there that wouldn't hate that.
No, they wouldn't. So
I went to high school with a lot of those people.
Oh yeah,
Halloween was every day.
So Greg is not with us today.
I know, that's why I got confused.
Yeah,
it doesn't, we're missing a person.
It doesn't feel like a Wednesday.
No,
but
it's also dark.
He's busy working, and so we will miss him.
What do you call this?
This is play.
Oh
yeah, this is not work. But as much as we try to make it look like it is, it's really not.
That's fair.
So otherwise we'd be getting a paycheck.
Well, I mean, on occasion, it's difficult. You got to get people to come in and actually buy stuff.
I know. And that's why
we get that on occasion.
That's what we're here for. So we are going to be doing some pre-release announcements. We are also going to be going into our basement and pulling something out. And I know you have a new effect. Now, is this effect you're going to show, is it new, or is it something that has just been resurfaced and repackaged?
I believe it's that one. Actually, I don't know if Daryl had this one out on the market, but I know he did it.
Okay.
This was an effect that he did.
So something he did, and then they packaged it. And
I believe so, because they have footage of him at the castle performing this one.
Okay.
And other such things. And I know he talked about these types of effects frequently whenever he did any type of tutorial things.
He seems like he's got a lot of packet type stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
there's a lot of stuff I've seen from Daryl where it's packet based, but it's almost like what I try to do sometimes with my my different routines, where I take out packet tricks from a whole deck of cards. Or I'm not pulling out, oh, here's a trick with a packet, and then I pull out another one. Oh, here's another trick and such. I try to blend it in with an entire deck and such. So it looks like it's all organic.
So do you think Greg did an intro for us for into the basement?
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he did.
You did?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going with no.
All right, so now you're playing devil's advocate this today.
Anyway, so we are going to go into our basement, and here is an oldie but goodie.
So dun.
Yeah, do we have to?
I don't know.
And now it's time for James Lantine going into his basement.
That sounds so weird.
I know it's kind of like, yeah, I got dead bodies down there or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
would you be able to find them
in my basement?
Yeah, you've got such a sloppy mess going on down there.
Oh gosh,
I think they're dead and gone because you couldn't find them to begin with.
Yeah, they probably couldn't work their way out, so they died there. So this is from Tango, and it is called Marcelo's Aces.
And I believe it was from that magician, but Tango has packaged it.
Yeah, Tango packaged it, and
does it say there on the magician that it's referencing?
Well, it looks like Marcelo might be part of Tango.
Is he?
Yeah.
Huh.
Tango was founded in 1994 in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Buenos Aires.
Thank you. But it's him on the top.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the Tango guy.
So this is for those of you who are on social media. I have a picture up online. This is an automatic ace assembly, and so it is using some gaff cards, but it's a really cool ace assembly that you're able to do where you pull the aces out of a deck of cards, and one by one you show the ace, and then it magically vanishes from the piles, and they end up all reassembled with the ace of spades.
Yes, that actually they have a couple of effects out there that are an ace assembly.
Yeah,
Just like that.
yeah,
This one, I like the thing that I like the most about this one is the gimmicks that you get with it make it look like real magic when you're doing it, and it's put together for you. You don't have to make them.
right.
That's one thing I really do appreciate with something like this. Though, if you wanted to, you could.
Now
You
we're
could
not
very easily make this.
we're not
these gimmicks.
huge on Tango products as far as coins are concerned, only because we've had so many of them where the shells have, locking shells don't lock.
Yeah, the quality of their coins are not prime.
Not to our standard,
Yeah,
because we have such high standards.
I mean with
Clearly.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah. But they do have some other effects that they carry, which ace assembly is a trick that I happen to do.
yeah. It's a
And
good one.
now normally with the typical ace assembly, you might be used to certain gaff cards, where you how do I say this in code? They're missing backs.
Missing backs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Would that be?
I don't know if there's any real great way to say that other than a blank back.
No, it has a blank back, but it's missing a back. It isn't a blank back, but it's missing a back because it's got something else.
Oh, yeah, that okay.
Whatever.
We're going to be getting into that one in the next trick.
Yeah. So this one is actually the backs that are gaffed.
Yes.
And so it makes for a really cool looking effect, and it sells for $30, and again it is called Marcelo, Marcelo aces,
Ace assembly, I believe.
and it's an automatic ace assembly. So $30. We have it here in our shop, and I highly recommend it because it is something that I perform and I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's
Great to music too.
Yes, it is.
You don't have to speak through it.
It's a great silent worker, and I've noticed it can go and play out for a parlor or a close-up setting. You don't have to do it in just one magical setting.
You've seen it done in a parlor?
Yeah. Well, you've got people. I think I've seen you do it in a parlor.
I have.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's like a big old audience and everything, and it's just
put a camera on it.
The way that it happens, I feel like it plays real big.
Yeah,
and it's very visual as far as the old cliche. It's very visual
like
as
I
far
said,
as it goes.
put a camera on it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now I feel like we should have a.
Why?
Did I do that right?
Why are you playing Morse code?
Well, it's supposed to be the news anchor for soon to be released kind of stuff.
Yeah. They should have something like
But
that.
did that work?
Didn't play out so hot
Okay.
over the mouth.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So the coming out, unfortunately, it's a pre-sale. You can buy these things on pre-sale, but they don't have a delivery date yet.
Huh.
They're still working on it. And
What are these things?
these are the pocket watches. So it's the watch routine where you can change the time and things of that nature.
Okay.
But it's a pocket watch instead of a wristwatch.
Okay.
And so I know a few people we know a few people that really want to get their hands on a pocket watch.
Yeah.
And so they have it in silver, anchor, black, white, and King's Cross, which I'm not sure exactly what that means, and it's by Andres Barthazi, Barthazi. And by the way, do not judge me for not being able to say these names right, because if you can say my name correctly, then you can judge. So
I think we've had only one customer that we haven't told how to say our name right. And he actually said it the way it's supposed to be said too.
Oh, really?
It was the guy who's from, we had a customer who came in from overseas. I believe he lives in, I don't want to say Germany, but he lives in a country in the UK.
He lives on this planet.
Yes, he does. In the country in the UK. And he was able to go, he looked at our name and says, oh, Lontien.
Well, don't say it, because...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because then people are going to start...
But they don't know how we say it.
I know, but they're going to start judging me.
But I don't know how we say it.
That's true.
So they got to say it the right way.
Okay. So these watches run roughly from... Here's what's odd. They have a one pocket watch. The anchor is $420, and the silver is $417. Why the $3 difference? I have no idea. But they're roughly about $420, and they look like they're really nice watches. If they're anything like the wristwatch that they have, it will be a really good effect.
The wristwatch, if it's like that.
Yes. Now, again, they do not have any of these in stock or available for resale. They are available for... Oh, this is pre-sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I can announce it.
Yeah, it is a pre-sale.
Okay.
So I think they had a notice in on Murphy's actually that they didn't want you to announce it quite yet, but it was available. Like some weird thing. It's why put it out if it's not able to be
They have no idea. So
yeah.
You got a little bit of an early release notice here, but maybe I wasn't supposed to tell you.
Well, I think this
you
time
heard it here first.
You can, yeah, I think you can now.
Okay. The next item that they have coming out on February 6th, so in 6 more days, it's called Bangarang by Nicholas Lawrence. Now, we are in the process of marketing a trick called Black Hole, which is by Rich Hurley. And Rich has been doing this effect for a very, very long time. He is now just getting it to a point to where he's ready to manufacture it and actually put it out for resale. This Bangarang looks an awful lot like his. So I'm a little concerned, and I'm going to let Rich know about this. But essentially, the 2 jokers have holes in them, whereas Rich's has 2 holes in a black hole. And so they're essentially like jokers. It's just that it has black hole on it, and they have a cutout in the middle. Now, the description of what this is doing, it's very much like a monkey in the middle, but they kind of have a different routine to it to not make it look like monkey in the middle.
Makes sense.
So that is coming out, and that's going to be for $34.95. If you buy it from us, you pay 5 cents more because we're special, and we hate pennies. So it is $35.
I like a solid number better anyway.
Yeah, I do too. I wish they would get rid of coins.
Actually, do you know?
Except for silver dollars.
Do you know that it costs more to print money than to stamp money? Minus a penny?
Yes. It costs more to print?
It costs more to print money than it does to go and stamp a coin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because a paper, it's paper money, its lifespan is only about 6 years.
And it's a very special paper.
Yes, so you can't do anything with it. So it only lasts 6 years. So you're constantly having to remake that paper and reprint on it over and over and over and over again in order to make sure you replenish the stock. I won't get political on it, but there's coins last upwards of or can last up to 30 years.
Oh, well, I think history begs to differ, because there are some coins that are back well into the early 1900s.
Well, the acceptable market value, using it on a routine basis like that, it can last upwards of 30 years. I mean, especially if you're taking any good care of it, but it'll last far longer than paper money. And so it's the U.S. government is wasting money printing money because they continually have to replenish it, whereas they wouldn't have to if they made all of our currency coins.
You know, it's funny. We had a customer come in, and I showed him our Morgan dollars, which I said are fake Morgan dollars.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Well, isn't that counterfeiting? Because you could go in and spend these Morgans." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, but a Morgan dollar will get you $1.
Yeah,
you're spending like $45 for that dollar. So I don't think there's any incentive to counterfeit that coin."
That's very true.
Yes.
It's the most expensive dollar you'll ever spend in your life.
Like, I don't care if it was counterfeit or not. I'm not giving it to anybody because it cost me $45. So
yeah. Well, real Morgan is
about
like
65.
That. Yeah. So it's one of those things.
Which we have real Morgans in our personal inventory.
Yeah.
But they're like $65 a coin.
If you know anything about coins too, you'd be able to tell the difference between the fake Morgan and the real Morgan in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But still, apparently Uncle Sam is spending more money printing it than he is stamping it with metal.
Well, I don't have any money, so I don't really care.
Well,
because all of that stamped or printed money never sees its way over to me.
I feel like you could counterfeit stamped money easier than printed money for some reason.
Maybe,
unless they did something like they do with the dollar bills, unless they did something with the coins that made them extra super unique.
But again, it's going to probably cost you more to stamp it than it would be for the value of that coin. So why would you want to go do that?
It's true.
Anyway,
why would they want money anyway? Just go and make it all electronic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, really. So we need everything to go to Bitcoin.
Hey, you know how much Bitcoin costs?
It's
like $30,000.
I know, and you're buying air
for one Bitcoin. It costs like $35,000,
and it's air.
Basically,
it's a serial number
it's fake money.
Yeah, that's my buy. I actually have a coin that says Bitcoin on it, and I tried selling it at one of my strolling.
That's
gigs.
how they're gonna do it. With the coin money, they're going to make it extra unique by making them a Bitcoin. Maybe, I don't know. You could QR code it and everything.
There you go. By the way, if you do own a Bitcoin, don't ever lose your serial number, because if your computer crashes or anything like that,
oh god, you're just out $35,000.
Yeah, you're kind of screwed. Let's see what else we got going on. Are you going to show us your little
I do. We have
October
that.
deck?
We have this. This is actually the Day of the Dead by it's Fulton's Day of the Dead.
Okay. So here, let me set you up. Or not.
Cool. Dun dun dun.
It seemed so plausible that we were actually gonna be able to use the Stream Deck and literally like be able to actually push a button and have something happen, but no.
There is an outbreak among us. It is limited to only a small portion of our population. They have a sickness. They have an addiction. They collect bicycle playing cards, which is bad for them, but great for us because we have almost 500 decks of playing cards to choose from. They'll go crazy in here. They'll spend every last penny they... This is their story. This is Playing Cards Anonymous here on Magic Talk.
Okay, so Fulton's Day of the Dead.
Is that what it's called? Fulton's?
Fulton''S.
Okay. And it's Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Now, this guy is actually a cardistry style deck. They were made in China, but the cards themselves, they're stamped or pressed real thin.
Yeah, so you're all hooked on the whole stamp thing.
You know what? You got me started. But it's pressed real thin. And the finish on them feels kind of like an expert style finish, where they're really smooth and you don't catch much of the air cushion.
So if you're on social media, I have that page actually being displayed. You can see the backs of the deck in this image, which it's like, almost like a cemetery.
Yeah,
you're at a gate and you're kind of looking into a cemetery.
Yeah, and they have
very spooky.
It is actually the way that they've got this. It has that that Day of the Dead type of scene. If you haven't seen any type of Tim Burton or anything like that, it's similar, though it has more of a Dia de los Muertos style skeletons. You know, like the candy skulls and everything.
Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about their jokers.
Hey, you know, Jesus wasn't the only one who's crucified.
No, I know that's true. He was not the only one, but
he was the most famous one, but he wasn't the only one.
Yeah. So and the aces have a very interesting the
ace. Well, the ace of spades does. The other aces are your stereotypical style aces, where they're the smaller type print pip.
Okay.
And the center pip is really small. The only large ace is the ace of spades, though it's actually very ornate in the way that they have dressed it up, very flourishy, with a candy type skull in the middle.
So there's nothing really special about the cards themselves. I mean, they're not. It's not like it's more about the backs.
Yeah, the back and the feel of it. It's very smooth with the fanning, and they have the court cards themselves are a different color. It's like the
still along the traditional line, though.
Along the traditional line, but they're different colored.
Yeah.
The pips themselves, they have that weathered, like you oil rubbed the pips. But I think the biggest thing is you'll be able to do things, other cardistry moves, other cuts, other springs, other fans.
So without Greg being here, are you going to be able to do the spring test?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded like the runs. There we go.
Now they're very they're thin, yes, but they're very durable. So you got to break them in a tad.
Okay.
But they actually fan or spring pretty well. And the fanning on them actually is nice. They've got very smooth. You get a nice, solid, even fan based off of it. The one thing I don't like is their ferro, because they're very dull. And I tried to do a couple of ferros before this, and it doesn't bleed through. You got to really work it.
Not very clean.
Not very clean.
Okay, and those decks are selling for $19 at your favorite White Rabbit Magic shop.
Yes, they are.
Do we have a chain?
You know what? It's going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to happen. I'm not going to give up until it does.
All right.
But they do have two different styles with this. They're not directly related to each other, but they have the Day of the Dead, and they also have the October deck. And the October deck is red. Same price.
Is it the same basic style though? Did you say? You probably already said that, and I wasn't listening.
Well, they're not directly related. You can go on. I have it on the site.
I'm off that channel.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
on something new.
Okay. Yes, but they're a little different, at least according to description. I haven't opened one yet, but they said they're a little different. They're not exactly like these ones. These ones, I know they had cardistry in mind with this deck.
Okay.
So they're supposed to spring, and they're supposed to fan, and they're supposed to bounce right back when you go and you do all your really hard manipulations on the deck, which is what a cardistry deck typically does. You don't get a lot of real smooth action as far as any, what do you call that, card sharking, or any type of mechanic work. If that would, you'd be hard pressed to use something like this with some pretty hardcore mechanic stuff. But it's when you're going and doing card juggling, you definitely want something that's similar to this.
Cool. Quick little TCC update. I feel like we should maybe add a new segment on what went wrong with TCC. But the Spirit Bells and the mini slates.
Yes.
It does not appear that you can even get the mini slates anymore.
Okay.
So they've been pulled out along with the wooden cups and balls. You still can get the mini wooden ones, I believe, but the bigger wooden ones with the 3 solid cups are off the market for reasons that we've already talked about on this show. But the Spirit Bell, the wires that are used in the coil, they are soldered into a board, and I guess one of the biggest problems is they break. They break off the board.
Common thing that you found?
It's very common because we had 4 Spirit Bells, and 3 of them had broken wires.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if that is something that happens during transit because they're not, they're not put in with a really strong fastening.
Possibly. I know the coils are normally glued, and on all of these, the coils were loose. So I don't know that it was necessarily packaged very well. But we are able to repair them, which is a good thing. But even after repairing them, they are still very fragile, and they can break.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your TCC update for the week.
Okay. We got another one?
No.
Well,
all right.
We do have one more segment.
We do. We're going up to that. And, let's see. By the way, you know how Greg said, I'm going to buy you a new Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is a known issue with Stream Deck.
Oh.
There are a lot of people that are having problems with Stream Deck crashing.
Nice.
So it's not just us. But we'll do a review on Stream Deck later in the show.
Is it good? Should I buy it? Does it suck? Did I get ripped off? Is it more of a craft project than a magic trick? These questions and more answered now on the Magic Item of the Week here on Magic Talk.
All right, you got 2 minutes, Josh.
All right, so this one is going to be Hyperbent Elation. And a hyperventilation is a trick from Daryl. This one is a version of the Anniversary Waltz, except it is using a different type of presentation and approach to these signed cards. Actually, with this one in particular, you do have, in like most Anniversary Waltzes, you have a double-faced card that gets signed. But it gets signed.
So do we not have to talk in code?
With this one? Actually, you know what? You're right. I don't know how to say that any other way. All I have to tell you is that you have 2 cards that appear as 2 that get signed, both cards, and then through a series of presentations, you're able to go and make those 2 cards join together and fuse.
Okay, that's the standard one, but this one allows you to also sign the backs.
Yes, this one you do have the chance to sign the back of both cards, but actually the way that I could imagine this is done is you have 2 spectators, much like with the Anniversary Waltz, and you have one spectator sign the face and the back of one of the cards, or of two of the cards, and then you have the other
So
spectator
it's the
sign.
face of one and it's the back of the other.
Yeah, and then the same thing with the other spectator. They sign the face of one and then the back of the other. So you have the back, your name on the back of one card, and then the other spectator's name on the back of the other card. And then again, through a series of presentations, you're able to go and fuse those together. Except this one's different. This one, you don't do it where it's like in between the hands, or you go and you have it where with a magical snap, they go and fuse together. Actually, with this one, you take scissors and you cut the card in 3 different locations on the cards. And then you go and you bend them, folding the cards so that it almost looks like a card warp.
Yes, almost.
And then you're able to go and with magical gesture, you're able to go and separate the backs from the faces, showing that the faces have fused together and then the backs of those faces have also fused together. So both signatures are on both sets of cards.
And it almost gives the impression that their cards have fused where one half of the card is facing the other half of the card. And so it's definitely unique.
The way the
So
folds have gone.
In the packet, you're getting, I would assume, some of the backs and the faces.
Yes, you are.
And this is one of those tricks that you do have to replenish your stock, obviously.
Yeah, you get a series of these and then these right here, and they are the Gaff gimmick cards. Right. They actually recommend, they have a way of doing it. Fun enough, they have a way of doing it where it's with jokers. Okay. And they have a version of it that doesn't have cards that have to be selected. It's actually just with the jokers, so you don't have to. They call it a no sleight of hand version of the trick.
Okay.
So same idea. You're going the cards signed on the back and on the face. But
then obviously if you run out of these, you don't necessarily have to rebuy the trick. You can buy a box of Gaff cards.
Yeah.
Both in faces and in backs.
Yeah.
So
the nice thing about the fun thing that I want to figure out that actually that I saw was with the jokers, they had this special type of Gaff. And I'll say this because it's so commonly known. I mean, it has a red-blue double back.
Yeah, so these are the cards that sometimes come in decks of cards that people go, what the heck? Why is this in my deck?
Yeah. Lay people, yes. They tend to do that.
Yeah.
But it has a much better use than just what you would have stereotypically thought they would be for.
Cool.
So if you wanted to go and mutilate your cards any bit further and then give them out to your spectators after you've just thoroughly destroyed them, you can do it this way.
Nice. All right, so that's called Hyperbent Elation. It sells for $30.
Yep.
We are showing up as no stock right now, but I believe you've gotten some more coming in.
Yes.
So
next order soon.
So check it out. That is our show for today. Greg, we missed you because you're not here. We actually did a show in 30 minutes instead of an hour.
Are you trying to say Greg talks a lot?
Somebody does. But
anyway. Now I'm trying to say that you're doing this. You're saying he's the bad influence.
No, not that he's a bad influence. It's just that there's a lot more talking. No, we stayed on task today because you got a baby to go home to.
I do.
So anyways, that's our show. Thank you for listening. We will be back next week, and I believe Greg will be with us. So
more on the topic for next week at another time. We're going to make one.
Okay.
I think we should. We should have topics lined up for out the...
I do have a topic, but we will do that next week.
Okay.
All right. We'll see y'all. Take care and be safe. Now, what would be beautiful at this point in time?
What?
Is if the closing music actually came on like it was supposed to.
You know, if life were kind to you.
Abracadabra.
I know. Here we go.
Pick a card, any card. Some words are magic. They sparkle with the promise of something wonderful. But they're still just words until you add that something wonderful to the mix. And that's what you'll find at the White Rabbit Magic Shop in Santa Paula. Their inventory includes world-class tricks and illusions that are not only for sale, but that they will teach you to master. In addition, White Rabbit Magic Shop is world-renowned for its amazing collection of bicycle playing cards, with nearly 500 decks in stock. So, if you're serious about magic, then say it with us. At the White Rabbit Magic Shop, we believe in magic. The White Rabbit Magic Shop, located at 15500 Telegraph Road, Suite B15 in Santa Paula. For more information, please call 805-850-3051 or check us out online at wr-magic.com. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.